Hello everybody, I'm Emma and welcome to episode, 15 of the podcast maybe. I'm coming to you from Northern Ireland. I'm actually not going to go over this spiel every time because it's kind of annoying. I feel like when I watch other podcasters, they go over the spiel every time. That's kind of annoying to watch. So yeah, you know me, I'm sure. And if not, you can find out more elsewhere. So yeah, I've got a few interesting things to show you today, actually. I have a work in progress, a new one since last week. Actually, I started last weekend. I have another work in progress I haven't really worked on, which is sad, kind of, but I haven't had much time. And I have also some very beautiful colours on the Cheviot to show you, and 2 mini skein kits to show you, and a giveaway. So that's exciting. So I'll just get started straight into my new work in progress, which is very exciting. I was talking about it last week, and this is a Penguino by Stephen West. And I am knitting this in a lot of my limited edition yarns, held double with a strand of Whistlebear's Weavering Bell, which is 80% mohair, 20% Wensleydale. So that, together with my limited edition yarns, at the moment I'm using the Causeway yarns. I have them in a few colours. So I'm just working on this at the moment, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It just makes the most amazing texture, and yeah, because you kind of have the whole woolly part of it, and then you have the mohair part of it, and together they're quite an interesting combo. So I've knitted the whole back panel, which when I started knitting it, it looked very short to me, so I just did a bit extra, which I'm happy I did, because otherwise I think it would have looked too short. I did achieve gauge, but it just, I wanted it a bit longer, so I just thought, I'll just wing this. And so yeah, this is like a seed stitch or a moss stitch, I'm never sure which it is. And then I've done the first welt, which was really interesting. I've never knitted a welt before. And basically there's loads of tutorials on YouTube, because when I read his instructions I was a bit confused. I was like, oh, how do I knit this or whatever? So I looked up on YouTube how to do it. So you knit your rows, and then you have to pick up a stitch on the purl side, something like 8 rows below. And I just couldn't understand how you pick that up and knit it. But what I didn't realise is you have to slip the first stitch, knit a stitch, and then start doing it. It doesn't say that in the instructions, but in the tutorial I watched, that's what it said to do. So I'm really pleased with how this is looking, and I think all the natural colours always look so nice together. Tried to show it on my Instagram stories yesterday, and the colours look awful, so I'm sorry about that. So I think the next welt colour I will do, I might do a cream one, maybe. Obviously it won't look this cream when it's with this. It'll look a bit more muted. And then the next panel colour I might do, maybe this could be nice. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's going, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's extremely addictive. Some of you might know I don't have a lot of time to knit during the week. I have things on a lot of the nights during the week. I play badminton like a few nights a week, 3, sometimes once at the weekend as well. So I'm quite busy with that, but it's going to come to a standstill soon, because it stops at this time of the year until late summer, early autumn again. So hopefully that means I'm going to have more time to knit. Sadly, I will be missing out on my exercise, but I'll just get outside and do some walks and stuff instead. So yes, and hopefully that means more time to knit, so fingers crossed for that. Yeah, I don't have a deadline for finishing this. I'm just knitting it as I please, really, so I'm enjoying that. Some of you may have seen that I have been teasing a new base that I got. So I'm going to reveal it to you here now. So this is an extremely special base to me because I was able to get fleeces from literally a couple of doors down from where I grew up. The guy keeps pedigree Dorsets. So that is what this fibre is. It's very different from the Cheviot, I would say. It's spun in a similar way, but it feels very different. There's really no kimp in this. It's very voluminous and quite like fluffy, and I would say it has like a little bit of luster, a little smidgen, and also it's just really like, I don't know if you can see, but it's quite, it's got, yeah, it's like not fluffy, fluffy's not the right word, but it's got a bit of volume, and it's quite lofty, and turned out really nice, yeah. But yeah, completely different to the Cheviot. This one I dyed, this is the Cheviot by the way. This is a little test skein that I dyed with some alder that I had collected from a local park. They had fallen on the ground and I picked some of them up and decided finally to have a go at dyeing with alder. And I was so surprised and really, really pleased with the results actually. So this, just to give you a reference, this is onion skins and this is alder. So you can see onion skins are significantly brighter, but this one I just feel is really beautifully muted and nuanced, which I really like. And sometimes these type of colours don't sell well, maybe not this one, but I'll show you later some other colours I have in the Cheviot. Sometimes the more paler colours don't sell really well because I guess they don't come across great on camera, but for me personally, they are some of the most beautiful colours, especially like one of a kind ones, or ones where you're using up exhaust baths of dye. Sometimes they just come out so beautifully, and if you hesitate with pastels, I would really encourage you to just give it a go if you like pastels, because in the photographs, I guess they probably could look kind of similar, but they're so nice. I absolutely love them. So yeah, Dorset fibre will be coming to the shop in a couple of months probably. I have quite a lot of the Cheviot still to dye, and I haven't started my mittens yet that I was talking about last week, but I am going to start them at some point. It'll be a nice travel project and interesting enough to keep your mind occupied. So yes, this is my work in progress. I showed this a few weeks ago. I can't remember at what point I was at, but I basically knitted the first sleeve on it, and I just have to cast it off and then do the second sleeve. I talked about some modifications I was going to do in the neckline. I think what I'm going to do is knit the second sleeve, bind it off, and then block it and see how the cast on edge, how it reacts before I do anything. But yeah, I'm thinking that I'll probably want to make it smaller somehow. So yes, I feel like maybe one of you had a suggestion for a tutorial on how to do that, so I might have to either look at that or you might have to send it to me again. But yeah, this is the Scale Grass Sweater by LB Hand Knits. I'm sure you've heard me talking about this before. She's an Irish designer and she's got an interesting aesthetic that I really like. We have collaborated on several things before. She designed the Pale Fire sweater in my BFL Massam DK. did she design a pair of socks in my yarn, I think maybe, and probably other things that I'm forgetting, but anyway. So yes, there's this, which, yeah, this is using my Jacobs. So I might have some of this left over to use in my Pinguono, which would be cool. Such a nice charcoal grey. And if you didn't know, like, all my limited edition yarns are woolen spun, which means that they're very different to my other bases. They're a lot woollier, they're a lot more of the earth, they're a lot more... You really get the character of the fibre coming through in a woolen spun yarn. So, yes. The other thing I was going to talk about was... What was it? It's gone out of my head, so I will continue to show you a couple of other things. This magazine, I have an article in it. It's an article, not one that I've written myself, but it's one that the magazine have written about me and my business. So the magazine's called Image, Interiors and Living. It's an Irish magazine, and this is the photographs. They were taken by Native Ivy, who is a local photographer, and look, Rufus gets in the magazine. So good. And yeah, it's quite a fairly lengthy, spans a couple of pages about how I got started and what sort of things I'm interested in, and a bit about my studio. And yeah, it's kind of written, I guess, for people who don't really know about dyeing or knitting. But so in that way, I think it's written really well for like anyone who picks up the magazine. Yeah, so if you fancied a copy to find out more, you can get this in Eason's. You can probably order it online as well, I'm not sure, but they sent me a copy, which is really nice, so that I could see the article. Cool things. Okay, so coming to the shop Friday night, which is tonight, I hope I get this podcast up on time, is the St. Patrick's Mini Skein kit. Oh, how do I hold this? There we go. So I just felt like I wanted to do some greens and blues and yellows in a nice little kit, and this gave me the perfect excuse. These are not labelled or anything yet, but they will go up in the shop tonight at 8 o'clock. And these, I think, would be perfect for a Tammy Gore colour craze shawl. There's 6 20-gram mini skeins in the set. And they were... Garth and Orr put them from cones into mini skeins for me, so I was so happy with the result. So yeah, I'll show you the colour craze shawl. I'm sure you've seen it before, but I'll just show it to you again. So it's a really fun shawl by Tammy Gore, and you can basically add whatever colours you feel like adding in. So it would take the 6 mini skeins plus a full 100-gram skein. So yeah, I think this would be super good for this. I totally love this shawl. It's really addictive to knit as well. I will have another mini skein kit coming to the shop on the next update on the 27th of March. And I got these nice brown thick paper bags today. And doesn't it look really pretty? I like it. I just had to pop some mini skeins in to see if it was going to work for me. So you can open it with me now. So this is the Rufus Mini Skein kit, and it's inspired by Rufus, my dog, if you don't know Rufus. Okay, so he is a Bedlington Whippet. Everyone thinks he's an Irish Wolfhound, but he's not. Some people think he's a Deerhound, but he's not. He is half Bedlington Terrier, half Blue Whippet. He is a very... How do I describe him? He's a character. He's like a kind of He has a real personality. Well, I mean, all dogs do, but Rufus is a funny one. So anyway, so I've made this mini skein kit. Someone suggested that I make one because he's like scruffy and grey, but with a big white patch on his chest. So you can see that. So there's like 2 regular greys. There's this kind of brown, light brown with little bits of pink in it. I don't know if you can really see that. There is a light grey with bits of pink in it. And by the way, this is all naturally dyed. So a lot of effort goes into making these colours, basically. A pink, and this is for his tongue. I'm sure there'll be some footage of him in this podcast. And a white, well, it's not exactly white, it's more like cream. This one was dyed with oat galls. So it's not quite the original undyed colour. It's a little bit more, has a little hint of warmth. So yes, again, wouldn't this be a really fun colour grade shawl? Or Damigora, I think, has a new, I talked about it in the last episode, she has a new shawl kit, or a new shawl pattern out. I think it uses 10 gram minis, so you could probably use it for that as well, but I think you'll need a 100 gram skein to go along with it. So that is these 2, and they will be posted out in this nice big bag with my nice tape. So I have been wanting to do mini skeins for so long. The last time I did them was for the advent calendar last year, and it nearly killed me, truth be told. It's because I was winding them all by hand. I have a little skein winder thing, and it was taking, like, I must have wound like, well, I only did 15 advent calendars, and each had 24 mini skeins, so it was enough to wind by hand. Like, I was kind of at the end of my tether by the time that I had done it. I even had some help as well from my mum and from my friend, but we were so scunnered. I don't know if you say that anywhere else in the world, but we were absolutely scunnered with it, and we didn't want to look at it anymore. It was wild. So yes, kindly Johnny from Garth and Orr said that they had a winder themselves, and they could wind it for me for a fee, and I literally couldn't be happier about this arrangement because it means as well I get the chance to put colours together on this kind of small scale, and I really like doing that. I like playing around with colours and, you know, like seeing what goes together and what looks good and stuff. So I'm having a lot of fun with these mini skeins. Look at them all together, aren't they nice? So the next ones I think I'm going to do after this, I don't know if I'll have them done for the next update or not, but I would like to do like an Irish Seas mini skein set, and maybe like, well, that was one option, and then I want to do one that's really like earthy tones, and then I want to do obviously the spring minis. I hope to have that done for the next update, actually, the spring minis. So, and it will probably be quite similar colours to this sort of thing, but maybe with a few brighter corals, maybe with, I'm not sure. I'll see how it goes when I start dyeing. But yeah, so that's quite cool. I also picked up my, 2 seconds. I picked up my copy of The Handmaid's Tale from the library. I was able to order it and they only charge you 50p, which is great. So I'm going to have to start reading this very, very fast. I actually haven't finished The Man in the High Castle yet, but I'm probably like 75% of the way through it. But so yeah, this is one of my yarn clubs. We're doing dystopian novels for 5 months of this year. So yeah, I'm excited to read this and then dye the club yarn for it. So the listings are open for that now. I also want to show you, I'll just pop in a couple of photos here. You've probably seen on Instagram, I was talking about my other club, the North Atlantic Islands Club, and I was showing some old analog film photos that I took when I was on the Isle of Harris. It's an absolutely stunning place, sandy beaches. Well, when I was there, I was cycling around Scotland, and it was really warm that summer, and we were pedaling with these big panniers, and we were going, Harris has a lot of smallish hills, so it's up and down constantly, and the sun was like beating down on us, and the sky was blue and the sea was so blue, and the beaches were magically white, like the whitest sand. Like, it was so beautiful. And I remember being kind of entranced by the place. And then you go to Lewis and it's completely different, even though the two like islands are connected. So yeah, and that's where Harris Tweed is as well. It's like just when you get off the boat, it's just there. So yeah, so this month's North Atlantic Islands Club is inspired by Harris, and yeah, just think sandy beaches, blue skies. I'm gonna see what I can do with that for this month. So I'm having a lot of fun with the clubs. They help me as a dyer to keep things interesting and to spice things up a bit, as they say. So I'm going to be continuing to do different clubs. So both these two clubs run for 5 months. This will be the 3rd month. Then I'm going to have some new clubs, which I'm very excited about. Well, maybe just one new club. It's an idea I came up with recently, actually. So I think you'll like that. But that will be revealed later. But yeah, I'm just going to go and grab a couple of things here that I want to show you. How I was talking about pastel colours earlier, and how sometimes... But pastel colours always sell well in real life because you can really see the nuances of the colours. So I'm going to see if I can show you some colours here that I've dyed on the Cheviot. So like some colours, like I think even the real, like people really like saturated colours, and with natural dyes you can't just dye saturated colours, because when you dye saturated colours you have this exhaust bath left over, which then you need to use. So this was, I dyed, if you know my colourway Bonfire, it's like a deep true red. So dyed 10 skeins of that, and then after that I dyed another 20, 30 or 40 skeins from the same dye vat. So for me to get those 10 skeins, I have to then dye another 30 to 40 skeins to use up the exhaust bath. So when people ask for a custom order, sometimes it's not that easy to do those colours. And especially when the colours that then you use up the exhaust bath, they're not as popular. So I'm just going to show you, because I think the exhaust colours are as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than the original colour. The really intense saturated colours are amazing, but they are for a special place as well, because it takes so much effort to get to that point. So then I dyed, these are 3 of the batches that I dyed after Bonfire. And this is all in the Cheviot 4-ply, which will be in the next update. So this is after Bonfire. I dyed this, and then I dyed this, and then I dyed this. Now, is it just me, or is this like the best 3 colours ever? I know some people aren't into pink, but I am all over this combination. But I'm all over this, but wait till you see what's coming next. I absolutely love these. So you can really see, sometimes when you see a photo of one colour, you can't really like see how it looks against another colour, and I think it's really important if you're wanting to like do colour work or anything. So I'm going to show you these. So I think this is another dye vat, like an exhaust one I was using up, this top pink one. And then this one is another exhaust, I think, of this. This third one here is jasmine. This is one that's easy for me to make up all the time. And this one here, was it an exhaust? I can't remember. But look at them together. They don't have names, so I'm sorry. I know that's really annoying, but I'm sure you'll recognize them when the shop update happens. But I just think these look amazing together, like these 4 colours. So like if you're ever stuck with colours and need help to put things together, just send me an email and let me know. Probably don't send me a direct message on Instagram because my messages disappear so quickly and I'll forget. But if you send me an email, I will remember. So yes, there's that. And yeah, I am going to have kits for Tammy Gore's Saran shawl in my next update. This is part in the common room. This is Wensleydale Daffodil colourway and Honeysuckle colourway on Natural Sock, which is this one. I mean, you could totally kit this up yourself and, you know, get a few colours of these yarns and just kit it up yourself, whatever way you want. But I find that those 3 work really nicely together and they're really like spring colours. So yeah, I really like that. So the giveaway. Okay, I have never done a giveaway on YouTube before and I'm going to try one now. So I'm going to go and grab the stuff for the giveaway. So yeah, just grab the stuff for the giveaway. I don't know how people normally do giveaways on YouTube, so I'm going to just make it up. So I'd like to give away a copy of issue 29 of Pom Pom, and this shawl was designed in my yarn. It's by Rachel Reese and it's designed in my Natural Sock. I'd like to give a skein of Bonfire, the beautiful colour I was telling you about that you have to do loads of exhaust baths, and a skein of my Juliet limited edition from Newton Crumlin. So yeah, so if you want to enter, just subscribe if you haven't already and comment below with your favourite breed of sheep, and I will use a random comment picker to pick the winner. So yeah, let's see how this goes. I have no idea how people do this on YouTube, but let's do it for the crack. Why not? So I think that's all for today. There'll be the Jacobs lambs you've seen at the start. They are the Jacobs that my Jacobs fleece came from. I went to see them today. And yeah, I think I will just pop in a little bit of Rufus footage at the end. So I hope you enjoyed that, and bye bye until next week.